Hey YouTubers, good morning, Robb. Guys, we're going to be talking about pies this morning. Actually, we're going to do two things. We're going to be talking about pies. And the second part of the video, I had artificial intelligence make a pie video based upon one of my recipes for chickpea tofu pie, particularly a banana chickpea. Actually, this pie right here. Of course, artificial intelligence scours the internet looking for images so I can make its video, and there are no images of tofu chickpea pie because I don't think anyone is making them except me, which is kind of cool. Let's start from the beginning. About 3 months ago, I saw a some videos on recipes. I just had a blog by this company, Mori New Tofu. These are box shelf-stable tofu, and they were making a pie with theirs. And I'm trying to get more protein into my diet because as we get older, it's important for older people to have more protein because they don't assimilate protein as much as when they were younger. So I said, what's better way to get more protein than a pie? They were adding tofu to made a lemon pie. I have a recipe. I'll leave a link to it. I followed their recipe, but I said, I can't always just follow a recipe. I have to do something different. So I added chickpeas, put it in the little blender, the food processor, made it nice and creamy, no grainy pieces of chickpea, and it was fairly good. They used as a thickener cornstarch, but they didn't heat it. So I tried it, and it was kind of watery. The crust absorbed some liquid. In the second day, third day, it was fine. But I said, this doesn't sound right. So next pie I made, I heated my mix into the microwave, and for like 8 minutes, for 2 minutes, then I'd stir, heat for 2 minutes, stir, and it got nice and thick, and it was perfect pie filling. So I said, now we're on to something. So since then, I've been doing pie after pie. I've done lemon, I've done chocolate twice with the pie filling, and also with just cocoa and the chickpea and the tofu. I've done some wild cherries, Florida cherry Suriname or Barbados cherries that are here growing. I've made a little sauce with it and then incorporated into the pie filling, and it was very nice. The wild cherries has a little bit of a resinous taste to it, but the next day it was gone, and you just have the aftertaste of a little bit of a cherry, a tartness. It was a very interesting, fresh flavor. I've done banana. This is banana right here. And I've done pumpkin with canned pumpkin, but I'm going to try making some fake pumpkin. I don't know why. With the pumpkin spice and the chickpea and the tofu. By the way, I tried the pumpkin without the tofu, and it was kind of mealy. It wasn't as good as with the tofu. That's the thing I want to get at. I've been trying different things each pie. I've done about 8 pies using these inexpensive, I think they're like $1, $1.25 at the store. You can get them at the dollar store for $1. But yeah, I've done about, I'm getting, I don't normally eat pies or anything sweet. So what I'm getting at is you can use the pie filling to help make it thick, but also you can forget about the pie filling. Just add some, like a few tablespoons of sugar. That's another thing. Most pie recipes, they add on tons of sugar, like a cup of sugar. By making this way, since the crust has sugar in it, and I usually use a topping, like Greek yogurt, or sometimes the whipped cream in the can, or this type of whipped cream, that has plenty of sugar in it. So you don't need to put a lot of sugar in your pie. And if you have it with coffee without a filling, a sweetener on top, you don't need it. It's just, you can put a little ice cream on top. You know, that has plenty of sugar, so you don't have to load up your pie with sugar. So I have used the canned chickpeas, but I found that it's a lot cheaper just to get the bags of dried chickpeas, soak them overnight. You don't have to. Put them in a pressure cooker for like 15 minutes. And then you've got a ton. I put these in the freezer. Then whenever I want chickpeas, I thaw them out, and I've got chickpeas good to go. The tofu, like I said, this type of tofu is kind of hard to find. So I experimented with the regular tofu. This is firm. I've always liked firm because I use it as a meat substitute. I put it in the freezer, then I thaw it out and I slice it, and I do different things. It tastes kind of like a meat texture, but the other type of tofu that's soft would be actually ideal. The type that I never used because it was soft, it'd be perfect for these pies. So you can use the chickpeas with the tofu and get a surprising texture. And both of those ingredients have very little flavor that adds or detracts from anything you're adding. It's a neutral. The chickpea and the tofu are very, very neutral flavor, so you can add other stuff to it and it'll dominate the flavor. So, but it does add tons of protein, because let's face it, if you're adding eggs and milk, you can add soy milk or you can add regular milk. I use a lot of powdered milk. And then you've got the tofu, and the chickpeas have so much protein, it's hard to believe. And then your regular filling, whatever you're putting in, that will have some, maybe a little protein, not too much usually. Pumpkin and bananas and things like that, and chocolate don't have a lot of protein. So by adding these other things, I think even though you are eating some sugar, and sugar's not that good for you, but you're adding so much fiber and protein, I think it balances out. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So you don't have to add the eggs if you don't want to. You can add the cornstarch and experiment with it, but I definitely would not add the cornstarch into the mixture without heating in the microwave. Another reason I heated in the microwave is because I was adding eggs, and sometimes raw eggs, you get certain bacteria from it that can be a problem. So by heating it, it gets close to 180 by 8 minutes, 2 minutes at a time. It gets pretty hot. So it thickens it up really nice too. So by heating it, it changes the chemistry of the mix to where it just gets more fluffy and dense at the same time. That's got a kind of strange combination. This is what it looks like. You're going to see in a minute the artificial intelligence video I made. It doesn't look like this because there are no tofu, chickpea, banana pies on the internet, except this, I think. So, but I think you're really going to enjoy the artificial intelligence video. So give tofu, chickpea pies a try. It can be very inexpensive because chickpeas are really inexpensive, and you can add half a block of tofu. These are kind of expensive. So get the soft tofu or the firm, add half a block at a time. You don't have to freeze them like I do, because I just do that for the texture. But you don't want a texture when you're making into a pie filling. And you can use inexpensive boxes of pudding with reduced milk, or you can just add your filling with the eggs and the sugar and forget about these. These don't have as many chemicals as you would imagine, but they do have, it's processed food, so I'm trying to cut back on that. So yeah, it's kind of fun experimenting. This is a very forgiving pie to make. You're not heating up the house with a stove, and technically you could get rid of the eggs and just make it with the cornstarch and not have to heat it at all. But I didn't really enjoy the results when I didn't heat up the cornstarch in the mixture. So go get you some coffee and maybe a scoop of ice cream, or just a cup of coffee with some sugar, and have yourself a banana chickpea tofu pie. My favorite so far was the wild cherry, because it had such an unusual flavor, and it was so cool to be foraging and get stuff and being able to use it in the recipe. All right, enough talking. Go watch Artificial Intelligence Banana Chickpea Tofu Pie. By the way, this is my variety channel. If you're not familiar with my channel, I put on new stuff every week for the last 16 years. And I have a whole playlist on recipes that I have made and that I like that other people have made. And I have some cool people at the bottom of my page that also do cooking too. You might want to check out, like Chef Buck and some others. Take care. See you out there. Don't eat too much pie.
So anyone here ever wonder why pies never go to college? Because they always go crusty. Laugh. But today we're going to make a pie that's so good it could get a PhD in deliciousness. A banana chickpea pie. Now, before you start flipping tables in confusion and disgust, hear me out. This is a fusion of sweet and savory that your taste buds will thank you for. So buckle up and get ready for this culinary roller coaster ride. The star players in this game are a 19-inch graham cracker crust, a small container of tofu, a cup of cooked chickpeas, a pair of bananas, a small box of banana pudding, a solo egg, and a cup of vanilla soy milk. Yes, you heard it right. Chickpeas and bananas together at last in a pie. You're in for a treat. Let's take these ingredients and put them in a food processor. And no, it's not a robot that makes food, although that would be pretty cool. This handy-dandy kitchen tool is going to blend everything together into a creamy, dreamy mixture. Now, it's time for the magic to happen. The mixture goes into a container and heads off to the spa. The microwave spa, that is. After a 2-minute sauna session, it's time for a quick stir, then back in for another 2 minutes. This process is repeated 3 times in total, just like a high-end spa package, am I right? Finally, the mixture is ready to meet its destiny. It is poured into the graham cracker crust and then tucked into the fridge for an overnight chill. It's like Cinderella, but instead of a pumpkin turning into a carriage at midnight, we have a chickpea banana mixture turning into a pie. And voila, you wake up the next day to a pie that's ready to steal the show at breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Or maybe even at that potluck where you want to impress everyone with your adventurous culinary skills. Now, you might be wondering, why the banana and chickpea? Well, I say, why not? They're like the odd couple of the food world, but when they come together, they create something truly unique and delicious. So, there you have it, folks. A pie that's not only a conversation starter, but also a taste bud pleaser. And hey, remember the joke about pies not going to college? Well, this pie just graduated with honors in the School of Deliciousness. Now that's a pie worth trying.